Yeah, so as I was saying, we're not a company. We're also not VC funded. There is no pre-sale. There was no like inside deal. There's no like investors. Well, maybe there are. In like, no, completely community owned and operated. And we're not a personality cult. There's no one person that runs Juno. There are many different people that run Juno, each with their own ideas. Juno is not run by Wolf. Juno is not run by Demi. Juno is not run by Block or the Frey Needlecast or Notional DAO or BlockPain or Joe Abbey or Dojmos. All right. We are a DAO. Juno is a DAO, and that's why we're cool. So what is Juno? In case you don't know, it's a sovereign L1 in the cosmos. We have permissionless cosmosm, so you can write cross-chain smart contracts, very exciting. We have a very strong developer ecosystem, which I'm going to talk about, and we're fully community-owned and operated, which is sick. Strong community, strong Juno, that is our secret. This is our little mascot, Max. He's a little wombat. He's so cute. WebAssembly is the future of smart contracts. It's better than the EVM. I'm sorry, I started writing my first line of Solidity in 2016, and now that I've experienced WebAssembly smart contracts, I can never go back. What are the great things about them? Well, you can use existing languages you already know, like Rust, like Go. Cosmosm supports both Rust and Go right now, but eventually we can support any language that compiles to WebAssembly. So like TypeScript, C#, C++, Scala. You don't have to learn a new language to write smart contracts. It's easy to write secure smart contracts with Cosmosm too. Ethan and the Confio team and everyone who's contributed has done a lot of work to and also they've had the benefit of hindsight, designing a second or third generation smart contract language. It's easy to write secure contracts in Cosmosm, and so you can move a lot faster and innovate more rapidly. You can use existing libraries. If you want to make a really cool generative art NFT for Stargaze, you don't have to re-implement a math library for Scratch in Solidity. You can just use an existing Rust crate. It's highly extensible. It's IBC ready. I mean, you saw Ethan's talk earlier demonstrating interchain account functionality. You have this low-level access to IBC. And the last thing I want to note is performance. A lot of people talk about transactions per second and all these other silly metrics, but here's a metric you probably haven't heard about before. It's the largest computable Fibonacci number. And each Fibonacci number is a lot more compute than the next. As you can see, Cosmosm in this chart is basically equivalent to a Cloudflare worker. It blows away the competition. You can do way more compute in Cosmosm or in WASM smart contracts than you can do in EVM smart contracts. It's just more efficient and it's more performant. So Juno is the best way to launch a new Cosmos project. You can build your protocol in Cosmosm and iterate rapidly on Juno. You can find product market fit with our very engaged community. And then, once you get product market fit, once you have a bunch of people using your protocol, you can launch your own sovereign chain or deploy cross-chain. You can deploy on multiple chains. We have projects that are not just deploying on Juno. They're going to be deploying on Stargaze or Osmosis or all the other Cosmosm chains. And that's a really cool option you have. And then, of course, you can leverage shared security if you need it. One thing I want to talk about is the Juno funding ecosystem. So we're a DAO-first entity. We want to make sure that projects have access to the capital they need to launch and build really cool things. And so we have multiple launch pads that are coming up. Clips, DAO Up. There's actually a few others that have happened since I made this presentation. We have an ecosystem development fund. This is kind of the next evolution of the TerraDev fund, but it's literally the Juno community investing in projects, which is really cool. We have dev grants as well for maybe some of you in the audience or watching on TV. If you're building useful things for the Cosmosm ecosystem, we want to support you. We want to support people that are building valuable public goods. And we want to support also cool new projects too. Oh, and of course, there's still private investment. We we still have like a bunch of private investors that are looking to invest in projects launching on Juno. Oh, and of course, there's Hack Juno. There is over $1 million of prizes in the next round, and it keeps going up as the price of Juno goes up. So it's pretty awesome. You can participate in HackATOM and Hack Juno. That's great. There's more info about that, and you feel free to ask me about it after the talk. So some projects launching on Juno. We've got Loop with their DEX. We've got HackATOM Money, which is a fiat on-ramp. You'll be able to like buy and sell Juno directly with a credit card or bank account. We've got Levana, which is doing a bunch of like some games with dragons and like a lot of DeFi products that are really cool. People are excited about them. We've got Subquery, which is like an indexer for like smart contracts. I don't know if you've used indexers before. We have the Graph protocol. The Graph protocol is one of the leading tools used by a lot of like crypto analytics firms. We have EclipsePad launching, which I already mentioned. That's like a place for you if you want to start your own, like say you want to start like an Oracle project, you know? And you can go to EclipsePad and like help like crowdfund some funds. We have Leap, which is a new wallet. I still like Kepler, but you know, diversity is good. More wallets is good. We have CoinHall. They chose, you know, Terra and Near, which are like very large, very centralized blockchain that have lots of investor money. And then they chose Juno. So we have TFM, which is like a DEX aggregator. We have Skip protocol that's coming, and they're working on really cool positive MEV, which is something that a lot of people have been interested in recently. We have Talus. We have Fan Fury. So if you're a degen and you want to bet on sports, there's that kind of stuff too. I'm not really into that, but you know. We have Raccoon. This is like another gambling one, but I just like the raccoons. They look cool. This is the project I'm probably most excited about, which is Wind. I think a lot of people don't understand this project, but they're actually building next generation DeFi protocols. And the really cool thing about that is they're using a portion of the funds to fund environmental projects. I think it's a really cool model, and they've got like some really great like lending protocol stuff that's coming out. Super stoked for Wind. Oh. We have Juno tools. You want to do an airdrop, you want to upload contracts, you want to like instantiate some base contracts. Beautiful UI to do all that stuff. We have Juno Juicer. You know, I think privacy is important. Like, you should have like privacy. You know, if you want to like send money to account without like people being able to trace it, you should be able to do so. We have that with Cash. We have Stake Easy. There's actually a bunch of liquid staking derivatives that are coming to Juno. I cannot keep track of all of them. But this is one, Stake Easy. It's a liquid staking protocol for Juno. We have, this goes along with like many of the crowdfunding kind of tools that are coming out. So this one's very focused on kind of nonprofits. It's called WeFund. Very cool. We have Margin Protocol, which is a decentralized margin engine. So if you're into margin trading, it's really cool, written in COSM WASM. Oh, and of course we have Juno Swap. It's still cool. And that's just a few. I didn't want to like go on too long, but you know, to name a few. So what's our growth secret? It's just community. It's like the one moat that you have in this industry. Like, this is all open source software. You can easily just copy and paste it, you know? The real moat, the thing you can't copy and paste, is community. And that's a community of like passionate like users, like people that use the dApps, but it's also a community of developers. And one of the great things about not being a VC chain is all the tokens that we would have given to venture capitalists in a pre-sale round, we instead give to people like you, to the builders, to the people that create real value. And surprisingly, like, things have been going pretty well. We just got listed on Kraken, which is a pretty big deal, pretty exciting. But you know, I think some people were getting jealous. Somebody, you know, we got attacked with a 0-day. It could be a really long talk. Happy to talk about any of you about it personally, like afterwards. But you know, I think the key is like, we have an amazing community of validators and developers, and they all came together to figure out what the problem was and fix it with pretty minimal downtime, and that's really cool, especially because we don't have like a central company like controlling everything and telling everybody what to do. And I think this is a really great summary of the last 24 hours. It was a really difficult like kind of exploit upstream in the Cosmos SDK. It's tough to catch. We got the instructions and the fix out to validators. We identified the problem and fixed it in less than 10 hours. And I think the key here is Juno is important enough that someone used a potentially like $1 million exploit to fuck with us, That's pretty cool. And, I think that's bullish. I'm bullish on community. I'm bullish on a community of devs and builders. I'm really excited for everything y'all are building. Even if you're not deploying it on Juno, you're part of the Cosmos. Cosmos is family. All right, gotta talk about DAOs. It wouldn't be a Jake talk if we didn't talk about DAOs. So there's this thing, it's called DAO. And what is DAO? Well, it's fully on-chain, no code, modular, and interchain DAO tooling. And this is DogDAO. It's fun. You should all join DogDAO. One dog, one token. So maybe this is a project some people would be interested in working on. Happy to talk with you more later, but we're short on time. I did want to cover just some of the features that the DAO contracts provide. So we have these things called voting power modules. What do voting power modules do? Well, they determine voting power. And the really cool thing is each section is different, so you can recombine these in interesting ways. We already have voting power modules for membership, so like a typical multi-sig that you might have. We have NFT-based voting, that's relatively new. We have token-based voting, both CW20s and native tokens. And we also have staked native tokens. So say, on Osmosis, for example, governance is getting pretty busy. Do we really need to be voting on marketing stuff in the main DAO? What if we have a separate DAO where everyone who's an Osmo staker can go and vote in that kind of side matter if they really care about it? But then, the main validators don't get as distracted. We're giving people options. Again, these are little governance building blocks. The coolest voting module contract, though, is the mixed voting power contract. So you can actually mix all the different things together. You can have a token-based DAO that, if you have a certain NFT, you get extra voting power, which is pretty cool. So you can create like nice mixes of all these different things. We have custom proposal modules. So we have the normal stuff that you would expect, like a single choice proposal where you yes, no, abstain, veto, but we also have multiple choice proposals. And we have ranked choice voting on the way. And quadratic voting, again, allow you to really easily mix and match, and it's really easy to build your own custom one. We have middleware. I don't think there is other DAO tooling, even in Ethereum, that has like middleware like we do. In large part, it's because Cosmosm is so awesome. It's all based on the actor model. It's all based on message passing. It's really easy to implement middleware. And so some of the middleware we have, we're calling it an approval flow. So say you want to like pass a proposal and then have someone who has to approve it. This is really great for regulatory compliance. I know everyone's really interested in regulatory compliance here. I am. So we have an approval flow. We have an authorizations kind of module, which allows you to basically control spending limits, for example. Like the address can only spend so much money, or it can only perform certain actions. Like maybe you want to have someone trade on behalf of your DAO, and you don't want them to take your money, but you want them to be able to trade for you. So you like allow them to, I don't know, use like a Juno swap contract and swap to like your token to USDC or something like that. But you don't allow them to do anything else. We have hooks, so you can build contracts that like react to everything that happens in DAO. We're going to be launching something with DAO soon called incentivized voting, where you get paid to vote, and it's built with hooks. So, and then the last thing is sub-DAOs, and this is actually the coolest thing, and it's rolling out probably in like the next 2 weeks or so. Sub-DAOs allow you to build these really complex structures of DAOs. You can have these nested hierarchies, each with different privileges. It's a really great way to scale an org, to scale a DAO like Juno. And why we built this is because we really needed it. having everyone vote on everything all the time doesn't work. You need smaller groups. You need groups of experts. But you also need to be able to like control everything. And yeah, I could talk a lot about it, but you know, gotta move on. I will say that there's something that's gonna happen on August 11th. That's it. So go build on Juno, go build on all your other things. Ethan, I just wanted to address one point. You know, they've got a really awesome tool and it uses WASMD. And as far as I'm concerned as a sponsor, if it's using WASMD for your test code and it's not specifically on the Juno testnet, we can deploy it on the Juno testnet because we use just basic WASMD ourselves. And so I think DME that should be like still eligible if you use like WASMD, but it's not technically on the Juno testnet. We're not protective like that. So go out, use the TS relayer tools. They're really cool. And yeah, any questions or concerns or comments or? All right, I'll get off the stage. So thank you.